Hey guys, it's Chef Jason, your Ace Hardware grilling expert. Today, we are rocking out some amazing pork butt on the Traeger. And I'll tell you, I've got a tip for you today because you know, when you cook that pork butt and it is this big with a bone in, you are investing about 8 or 9 hours of your time into that process. Well, today we're gonna do a boneless pork butt and we're actually gonna split it and lay it flat so we've got a bigger surface, which is going to result in some epic bark, amazing flavors and more. And then we've got all of our rowdy friends over today for barbecue products. We're gonna do a little mix of our Rub-A-Dub and Oink. That is going to be just fantastic from a flavor standpoint. Then we're gonna sauce it up with a 50-50 of low country and high altitude. We're gonna hit a little bit of sweetness with that fire honey, but right here, apple cider. We're gonna spray this guy down probably every 30 to 45 minutes with apple cider. Big time savings in today's recipe. I bet you we shave about 2 hours off. So thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for cooking. Let's head out and get the Traeger fired up. We're gonna go ahead and top it off. We're using our Ace Reserve Blend pellets. And I know I use these a lot, but I'll tell you, I really love that blend of oak, apple, and cherry. It's such a smooth, easy, wonderful eating flavor. So we'll get these topped off. We'll head over here. Now we're gonna go down, cook temp today, 225 degrees. We'll get that set. We'll hit ignite, we'll let it get started. We've got that boneless pork butt. Now look here's the area where the bone was. So they've already kind of started it for us. What I'm going to do now is very carefully just take my thin bladed boning knife and I'm just gonna lay the rest of this out. So it's now one big flat piece. So remember, this is all now one flat, even piece, right? Before we had the bone in it and it was bound up a little bit and a much bigger piece taking a lot longer to cook. Now, totally time saving. So let's put it in the pan next. We'll show you how we get it all seasoned. And the best part is we're just gonna let that seasoning soak while the Traeger heats up. We've got it fat side up, and I'll tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that fat. I want that fat to protect it a little bit. And honestly, it's really not that thick anyways, so I'm not too worried about it. I can always remove the fat later. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of oil to this. And then we'll go ahead and oil the bottom side as well. Get that set. That oil is gonna help act as a binder. Now that we've got it all oiled, we'll go ahead and just do a light Rub-A-Dub coating on this bottom here. Get that set. Then we'll do a little bit of that Oink rub as well. Just kind of trying to get a 50-50 blend. And then what I'll do is definitely give it a little push to get it all in there, make sure it sticks, work it in there. All right, now that this side is done, we'll go ahead and do the same thing to this side again. And I always like to keep one dirty hand, one clean hand. That way I never have pork fat or oil or anything all over my bottle. So season this up with a little bit of Oink as well. And then we'll finish it with Rub-A-Dub. And I'll tell you what, I wish we had smell-o-vision because that Traeger startup smoke smells absolutely amazing in the studio today. So we'll go ahead and let this guy sit now while that Traeger warms up. And then it's time to plug in, do a little bit of Wi-Fi, get this thing dialed in. So we hit 225, we've got the pork all laid in there. Look at this now, just one beautiful, thin, even layer of pork. We're gonna get bark on so many of the surfaces, it's gonna be awesome. Now, I'm gonna put the Wi-Fi probe right in here. I'll let you get in close and see that, but we're gonna put that Wi-Fi probe right into the biggest, thickest part. Now we're gonna plug it in and we're gonna set our alarm for what? 165 degrees. That's right. We're going to take this to 165 today. Then after it hits that 165, we've got a little speed up method that's going to help us get it to that 205. But we'll go ahead and shut the lid, let this cook, going for that temp of 165. All right, here we are right at 30 minutes. We'll go ahead and spray this good. I literally want to spray this good. I want to get that nice and wet because guess what? That moisture is what's going to attract the smoke particles, and that's what's going to help give us that beautiful bark, but also that amazing smoke ring as well. So we'll give it a spray. We're gonna repeat this process now every 30 minutes until we are at that 165 degrees and we're ready to wrap it and finish it off. All right, we hit that 165. Look how beautiful that is right there. Now, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and slide this into our pan and we're gonna keep it covered because we are definitely going to speed this along even more. I'm gonna go ahead now and pour about a cup of apple cider in there. What's nice about that is that's gonna really help create that steam that's gonna help finish us off. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the probe in. I'm gonna cover this. We're gonna turn the Traeger up to 275 degrees. We're gonna cook this now until we hit that magic 204 or 205 degree temperature, which is the finish temperature, where we're gonna leave it, rest it, shred it. So let's go ahead and get it covered. We are done. We have hit that temp. We are right at 205 degrees. All right, you guys, here we are right at that resting time. We hit that magic 205 degrees. So what I like to do is, let's say I'm starting at 3 p.m. I want to end my rest at, let's say, 3:30 p.m. I like to make myself a little note on there. Just helps me remember. But we're going to let it sit for 30 to 45. We're going to check it at that 30-minute mark. Make sure we are starting to soften up nicely. But the resting process, very important. All right, we have waited a half hour. Let's go ahead and get in here, double check this and see where we are at. Here's what I want to do. Just give this a nice little pull and see what we get. Look at that. I think we are absolutely perfect. Look how easy that shreds. Now, I have insulated gloves on under here, but another fun way you could do it as well, grab yourself some of those bear claws, they call them, or those meat forks, and get after it as well. So let me give you an up-close person view of what this looks like and that doneness, and then we're gonna get in here and get shredded. Now, I'm gonna save some of that juice because that's gonna work its way back into this pork quite nicely. We'll take the probe out, let's get up close and personal. All right, it is time to do some shredding, so I will just go through here and pick some of that out. Now, I love to shred in big, small, random pieces because really it helps with the flavor. And it also just gives me that beautiful, like little chunks, big chunks, all that good stuff. So we'll just go through here, start shredding until we get all this done to where we like it. All right, so we got about half of that all shredded up, and I'm gonna season this one way. I'm gonna do a little bit of that high altitude. I'm gonna do some of the low country and get a really nice blend of that Colorado red and that Carolina mustard. Then look at this. I saved a little bit of the braising liquid out of there. We're gonna add that, and then a little bit of honey just to bump up the sweetness, and that's some of that fire honey that's gonna give you that beautiful sweet heat. Now, we'll go through, give this a mix up, and the beautiful part is that pork is going to absorb all of that braising liquid, and that, you guys, right there, is some amazing pulled pork. Well, we told you we were going to save you a little bit of time, and we totally did, because we're looking at a total cook time with resting of about 5.5 hours. So we had 3 hours and 45 minutes of the smoking at 225. We had an hour and 15 minutes of that nice high 275 degree kind of braising where we covered it and let it go, and then we let it rest for a half an hour. Now, we shredded it into random pieces because I really love that texturally when it comes to my sandwiches or tacos or whatever I'm going to use this for. I get those big pieces, little pieces, but just gives me a beautiful pulled pork with a good bite to it. It's not stringy, but you can shred this any way you want. We did this by hand. Absolutely put the bear claws into play and get that shredded as well. Then don't forget, if you're new to the Ace Hardware YouTube channel, click subscribe, hit those post notifications. You will be notified when our videos go live. And then that eye that pops up, that's our info station. So that'll let you know that everything we have here is fully shoppable. You'll be able to click it, go to acehardware.com, and really curbside, have it delivered to your house. Doesn't get any easier. And then, as we always say, leave your questions and comments below, because that's how you help guide us towards making some amazing videos that you want to learn to make you that legend in the backyard cooking circuit. Today, we're talking about pulled pork on the Traeger. But coming up at the end of this, be sure to click on those Traeger videos coming up, because we have so much Traeger content for you. You definitely don't want to miss out. Now, I'm salivating because it smells fantastic in the barbecue pit studio today. I am looking at this wondering, here's my palette. What can I do? You've got sandwiches, tacos, quesadillas, burritos. It is like a pulled pork palooza, definitely. But I got to get in here and do my quality control. You got a beautiful smoke ring on there, beautiful smoke as well. Cheers. Oh.